about the guest. The podcast is all about the guest. It's not about me. It's not about me. I am Robyn Browning. It's about you.
I am Robyn Browning.
How are you?
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. Can't complain. So we're here down in the heart of D7.
Yes.
With Robyn Browning.
Yeah.
Owns her own business. Grew up in the area. Avid sea swimmer. Into nature.
Yeah.
We've a lot in common.
A lot in common we have, yeah. I don't drink neither. I love going out to nature.
Yeah.
But that'd be in my session now, years ago, like growing up and all with my friends.
Yeah.
I'd be just, going out for the weekend, and I never actually really liked it, but I never could say that I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
Over the years then I realised what I like is going out to nature or just doing things for myself.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to involve drink.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to involve drink.
Yeah.
So yeah, my business. We'll talk about my business.
Yeah, let's talk about your business.
I worked for myself years. I'm down here about 6 years.
Yeah.
And when I started out working for myself, I was with a girl about 6 years ago, probably longer than that. And the two of us hadn't got a penny to our name. And we found this building. It was actually down at Frederick Street where I live.
Okay.
Right? And I was down there, and the rent was €1,000 a month, and then you have to give the deposit down payment.
Yeah.
And we probably had €250 between us, right?
Yeah.
So she got a lend of 1,000, I got a lend of 1,000 to set up the business, and then we had like 250, and we got paint to paint the place, and we had nothing else. But we done it, and it got us through the first month, and then we made the money back, kept making money, kept working. And then obviously I can give my lend back, and so could she. And that's where we started working for ourselves. Okay. So that was down on Frederick Street. And then what brought me up here was it was an old building. It was beautiful. It was like a loft in a lane.
Nice.
Lovely it was now down the back of Frederick Street. Yeah. And the electricity went in it. So obviously years ago all the electricity would be connected, all the buildings would be interconnected.
Yeah.
So the man anyways to get the electricity redone would have cost thousands, and it was going to be a few weeks. So we moved up here temporary.
Right.
And we got a room up here, and I never left.
Deadly.
So it's great. The little community up here is brilliant with the gym and the cafe now and collies and...
It's gift.
Yeah,
it's gift.
Brilliant.
It is gift the way it's kind of emerged, and I've been coming down here, like Max used to go in there and train in there when he was young, when he was 11, and the reason... Diego, do you remember Diego, the Brazilian jiu-jitsu fella?
Brilliant, wasn't he?
So he was great, but I used to come on me lunch times. So we trained up where he was, and then he started down here. So I used to do a lunchtime class, and they start dragging Max in. But it's amazing the change in this area, even in them few years.
Yeah. So that must be about 6 years ago, was it, John? Has to be.
Max was 12, so that's 7 years ago,
yeah.
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Yeah, it's the years flies a long time.
Yeah, so it's that's how long I'm kind of coming down here. But the change in the area, even when you look at Fisborough now, it's real
growing so much.
It's real trendy and coffee shops
and authentic,
completely.
Isn't it? Yes, and all the little small
Fisborough it's a different area than anywhere else in Dublin.
Yeah, definitely.
You've a bit of everything.
Yeah,
and people,
like all different businesses, but authentic businesses.
Yeah, no,
do you know that
100%,
100%.
Yeah, and I love that, like that coffee shop around there, the coffee shop there, they're authentic. Like I hate. And it's just me. I'm not being a hipster here. Like Starbucks, I'd rather bleeding tie a cavity block around my neck and throw me into that canal. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It's like fucking no. I just want different. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, the small businesses, I think, from being, let's say, my own self, and big chain stores and all the rest of it. There's no real there's no personality involved in the business because it's just a big chain store. You have to run one way. Yeah. So you have let's say there's 4 or 5 probably coffee shops around here close to us.
Yeah.
But they're all different, and the people can suit that need of that day or the need of their personality, and they match up to it. Do you know what I mean? Some people come here because they like this area or this vibe, and then you only have different around the corner. But if there was 5 or 6 Starbucks here, it's just all the same. Yeah. And then you're putting, I suppose the small businesses is what need the support, you know.
And I was in a coffee shop in Temple Oak Village yesterday, an independent place, whopper spot. I'm going there for a coffee as well, and I kind of like hitting loads of independents just because me taste is different. So I like hitting different places for different being. But if they had a little sign, a little blackboard outside, and it was like buy BY local or buy local.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
Yeah,
very true, yeah.
It's all about the old local. And come here, the big chainsaws and stuff like that bring employment and stuff, but my personal choice and what I like is might be different.
Yes, yeah.
People listening to this might go, how dare you, I love Starbucks and mocha lacquer cappuccino or whatever they're bleeding called. But come here,
No,
just me, you know?
yeah. No, but the small businesses, bye local, that's very true. Very true.
And the sea swimming and getting out hikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, I read a lot of philosophy books and I read a lot of, I've a wide variety of reading, but I was reading this guy a while ago and what he was talking about was for your purpose or to make yourself happy. And you touched on this by what you said there a minute ago. It's like, think back to when you were younger. Yes. And you were happiest. Yeah.
And it's like minimal things.
And that's for me, that's what it was.
Yeah.
My ma dragging us down to Dahlia. My ma had only given up smoking, so she used to read in the book. The window used to be down about that much, and we'd be blue running around having a great time. And she was like, quick, close that door, it's bleeding freezing. But we had a ball. So that's why I like nature, and I like all the I grew up beside St. Anne's Park. So I was in the park, you know what I mean? Like collecting for Halloween or whatever.
I grew up in flats. Yeah. So I grew up down in Hardwick Street. Yeah. And we would be out though, like it wouldn't be nature, but you'd be out in the elements, like, or you'd be out building camps and, as you said, collecting firework. But from morning till night, like we were outside. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's even when I was in a few clubs growing up, and they would bring us on hikes, and I think that's where I found my love for nature. Yeah. Like before I done a beautician course, I actually done an outdoor adventure management course.
Savage.
Yeah, out in Coolock it was, and I done my leaving cert when I was 16, and I went to that college when I was 17. And there was a lot, there'd be loads of weekends and everything, like going away with them for weekends. It was a 3-year course, but I had to leave. My ma hadn't got the money back then to support me to do all these weekends and everything else, and I just felt I was obviously young and I wasn't mature enough to communicate this or to even ask someone else, or did I need grants or to ask for help or whatever. So I left that course, but I still enjoyed it. I done it for a year and I left that. And then that's even where I knew I have a love for outdoors, you know what I mean? I'd be adventurous, I do things like that, but I do think as well it's from the upbringing, being outside all the time. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And when you're out in nature, like, it costs you nothing, and you feel alive. Yeah. Do you know? Or else, like, comparing that to a night out, you'd go out and you'd have a few drinks and then you're dying the next day. You have to spend a fortune. Yeah. Do you know, people do always say, like, I go out and have a drink, oh, what's wrong with you, are you mad? Actually, when you look at it, you're mad. You're to spending probably 150 on your clothes. Yeah. You're going to spend probably the same on drink if you take drugs, and you're going to be dying until Wednesday. So who is the mad one here? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, now don't get me wrong, I still go out. I was out last night, I had a sober night. I'm at at loads of festivals, I go to concerts and all the rest of it. So, but I still do. There's nothing like being out in nature or going for a sea swim.
Now, come here, I love going out. I love music, I love house music, I love all types of music, but I love house music, and I do go out myself. I don't drink, I don't take drugs, and I still have a good night, but I like coming home as well. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I remember everything. I see people out, and with the work that I do, I see the worst of people. Yes. Just the fucking worst of people. Yeah. And it's like, you look at people sometimes and go, I know you're a good person. Yeah. In my mind, but you just see they're in the grip of whatever, and it's just it brings out a bad side in people as well. Do you know what I mean? Definitely. There's loads of people out there. I know loads that have a couple of drinks and they're fucking no change. No, and then there's other people, and it's like, Jesus. Yeah, there was a fine line between me. Like, I'd have a few bottles and I'd be grand. And then sometimes I'd be like, jeez, I can't drink vodka. And then I remember the last night I drank, it was in 2019, and I was only at the, like, going fully solo, working for myself, right? And I said to myself, if I want this to work, I have to prioritise my business over me social life in a way, like, especially for a couple of months. But some nights I'd go out and I'd completely take it blackout. And I'd be like, what happened at that hour, or what happened at that? Yeah. Then I realised, like, why would you actually choose to do that to yourself? Yeah. Why would you choose to go out, you'd look gorgeous, you get your hair done, your makeup, your clothes,
and think it's okay to take a blackout or not remember an hour throughout the night. That's a bit insanity.
No,
I feel that's insane.
No, it's fucking,
Like,
it is crazy.
and to allow that, so that's, well, I don't feel it's okay to allow. I wouldn't want to allow it to happen to me again, and that's why I was like, do you know what, it's my choice. I have a choice here. So in 2019 I made a choice, and I said, that's it, I'm done with drink. Gave up drink. Done 2 full years.
Savage.
And then in 2021, I don't know, do you know, we done a big huge fundraiser here?
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah.
So I done a fundraiser, I organised it for
the room, wasn't it? Yeah.
So we organised the Goggins Challenge, which is 5k run every 4 hours for 48 hours. It could be actually a little bit more, but we done 5k because everyone weren't runners or whatever, and it was just for the kind of the fundraising. But so we done that anyways. It was brilliant. We raised 20,000 for Crumlin Children's Hospital. We done it down here. It was absolutely, look on my highlights on my browse page.
Check that out.
The videos are incredible. There was 30 of us.
Yeah.
I said to everyone, I thought I'd fit 30 in my salon to stay for the weekend, right?
Yeah.
Everyone came. They had blow up beds. One fella had a hammock. They had
Savage.
They had shelves and everything, right?
Savage.
So we just pitched them all out in the gym.
Yeah.
And then we were sleeping in the gym, going for the runs. We had 3 routes done, and we stayed here for the weekend, and then a few restaurants and cafes and all donated food.
Gift.
Oh, it was brilliant. And the support that we got off people was unreal. So we raised 20,000, and I was on a high, and there was 30 of us. We had a DJ here then to finish off today, because we all got medals and all, right? We got t-shirts, medals, pictures done, everything. And I said, you know what, I'm having a drink.
Yeah.
So that was in 2021, July 2021. Had a drink, was grand, because I was on a high after that. I was like, this is grand, don't even have a hangover. So I said, you know what, I might just have a little drink, just knowing I'm around people after something big happening. So that was grand. A few months later, it was someone's party or something, September. It was my birthday as well, and someone else told you. I said, I'll have a drink. Didn't really get too much of a hangover. Then I was coming to Christmas, there was another night out, so I was like, it's only every now and again. And then I just said, you know what, I'm not into it. What am I doing this for? What am I? So I got married in June this year, and I had a drink at that again, and I said, that's it, I'm done with it again. So I'm completely done since June.
I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah. And now, like, on my nights out and all, I've been sober, and you have an absolute ball. Have a great time.
Now come here, it's sometimes some people in my group will be like, come here, don't you fucking start, you were there last night, I was bleeding rubber, I remember everything. I'm not one of them comes, you want to see what you want to do
last night?
You know, I just talk to people and whatever. But now sometimes, like what you're talking about, not drinking and working for yourself, and it's like when I stopped drinking, only the past say 10 years and 5 years I've really looked into the effects of alcohol on your pineal gland. You know what I mean? It just, like, when you think about your last heavy drink, you weren't going to go, do you know what, I'm going to go down for a nice sea swim, and I'm going to hike, and I'm going to fucking work extra long hours and work and stuff like that. You're like that going, get that fucking breakfast roll on speed dial, I'm bleeding right off. Do you know what I mean? You're not thinking that positive way. No. It's because it's a depressant.
Exactly. And like, you'd go out on a Saturday night, right? So obviously when you work for yourself, when I first started working for myself, I was by myself.
Yes.
So let's say I'd work Tuesday till Friday. But I would not only do the clients, I'd have to answer the clients, I'd have to book the clients in, I'd have to get the stock, I'd have to clean the business, I'd have to make sure everything is on, like, everything is in tip-top shape. So if I went out on a Saturday and you're dying all day Sunday, right? And Sunday you shouldn't have to work. Right? I have a little girl as well, I have a house, I have a husband, whatever, I have a busy life, right? So if I went out on a Saturday, Sunday is your rest day, or if you wanted to spend time with your family, then you're straight back in Monday, school runs, food shop, all the rest of it, and you're like, oh, have I to get back to these fucking clients now? And this is the way your mental attitude would be. But then fucking clients is what's paying your bills, like, do you know what I mean? So when you're thinking that, like, that and that frequency about your business and your level of, like, it's not good. How can you be successful? And, like, successful doesn't mean you're a millionaire or whatever, but success is just making sure something that you're happy with is working. Do you know?
No, I get it. I do
so,
get it.
Like, you have to kind of, well, I felt I had to prioritise. Some people, they enjoy it and that's alright, but it's not for me.
And me and the Maxi fella were walking the night you got married at your afters. Yous are the only gig that I've ever seen that I was like, most people come in the whole lot and I was like, these cunts are prepared. Someone pulls out a speaker, all the young ones having a little dance. I was like, now it's only for your sister that I knew your sister in there. I was like, that's alright. She's whopper soundtracks. She likes good house music. Oh man, the place was rocking. It's like, they're like, one of the fellas comes over, get there to turn that down. It's alright. It's cool. It's good music. It's good music. It's alright.
Oh, it's all brilliant. Yeah, actually, I forgot about that.
And one of your mates, Stacey. Stacey's deadly.
Deadly. Yeah, she's like, there's John. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Stacey's deadly. I love Stacey.
So after the wedding, we had Stacey's really cool. We had the buses to bring everyone from the venue around, because I was like, do you know what? Like, everyone's out my hair then at 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't want a DJ going on till 4 o'clock down on this private land or whatever. So we got the buses to bring us around. Did you see the bags of drink that came off that bus? Did you?
Ah, sure, come here. Such is life.
I think they were hoping the party for the next 2 days.
They were doing 2 runs. It wasn't just a run, it was back out to do the second run.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It was a good night. And we met, that's where we met, and Nahome was there. That's who walked through the door, was like, Nahome. I was like, what are you doing?
My brother.
Nahome is deadly.
Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he? Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's deadly.
Yeah, he's doing great.
He is. He's doing great.
Yeah.
And you know what? Nahome was one of the first guys we met down here as well, because Nahome had only literally started training with Diego. Right. So that's like whenever, 7 years ago. Yeah. But Nahome, like the way Nahome is on his Instagram, some people say, oh, he's a fucking this and he's fucking that. Yeah. He's always been like that.
Yes.
He's authentic.
Yes.
He's always been like that. Do you know what I mean? So I like that.
Yeah, and he's playing a brilliant game in a sense with Instagram. And I said to him, like, no matter what, like, he's doing these videos, but he knows he's triggering some people, and some people love it. I do love it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. But people, if you love it or if you hate it, he's getting the engagement.
Oh, you know? I seen him with the microphone. I seen him with the microphone the other day. It's like, he's proper organised. The Queen. He's a microphone.
Yeah, I was saying to him a few months ago, because he was like, oh, Rob, I want to be more, like, you know, engagement on Instagram, blah blah. So I'll do a few videos with you or whatever. So you see, if I see me recording him the odd time. Yeah. But yeah, just having the crack, but he's doing them now himself, and it's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, very good.
Oh, he's deadly. He's deadly. And with your business now, do you always plan on staying here or growing it or getting bigger, or are you just happy? And what I mean is growing bigger. It's like, or are you like my wife at the moment? Listen, this is enough family time, me business. I'm contented. Yeah,
so at the moment, like, so let's say a couple of years ago, it'd be me kind of, my outlook would be, it would be like, you know, I wanted to be super successful, right? Yeah. And what does that, like, that's, the definition of that is very different though for people, you know, where you are at in your life. So back then I was kind of like, I wanted to be busy all the time, really busy, and I wanted to be like, just hard working, like, you know, this girl boss kind of attitude, which is okay. But where I'm at in my life now, right, because I've realised that busyness does me as a person or as a human and my body no favours, right? So for me, what I want for the business is, and where it's at the moment, and it's very good, I have 3 members of staff, so, and myself, which is 4 people. We're all getting paid our wages. Savage. The bills are being covered, and we have ongoing, constant, repeated clients. Now, last year, after the last lockdown, maybe, I made a decision that I would never work Saturdays again. Like, well, for now, because I have staff, I've worked Saturdays all my life. My daughter is nearly 12, and I've been in work like Tuesday to Saturday all her life. So I've missed out on a good bit. So for me, like, my thing with the business is being able to choose to work, be happy and live. That's what I want at the moment. I don't want to be 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. That's not success to me. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, it is great to be super busy and it's great to be always in demand and all the rest of it, but what I've realised over the years is you don't actually get to experience even yourself as a person in this world as much, do you know? Because like back then, like when I'd be working 6 days a week, it was just always me, Robyn the girl who done brows, who's always in work. Do you know what I mean? That was who I could only really relate to. But now I kind of have a healthy balance of work, life, living, and like being, I suppose I'd call that success.
But that balance is a constant battle. Do you know what I mean? It's a constant battle of like, you're like, your scheduled hours. And I only know this because my wife's in a similar position. It's like we had children, she works for herself, but she wanted to be a mother.
Yes.
She wanted to, you know what I mean? But still works for herself.
Yeah.
But the girl boss thing isn't, I want to be a mom
Yes.
who works, and I want my own time with my sisters and do what I like as well.
Yeah,
so it's a weekly balance.
Because
you know
over
what I
the
mean?
years, like, even I would have sacrificed, now there's probably only once, but I'm like, you know, it's time that you can never get back. Like, let's even say a Christmas, what would you call it, Christmas play or the end of the year thing in my little girl's school.
Yeah.
And because Christmas is my busiest time,
Yes.
and I wouldn't have put that little hour first in our lives, I would have put, do you know what, busiest time of year, can't do that, and I'll just do my clients.
Yeah.
And I remember I missed out on one of them.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, you can't be doing this.
Yeah.
Especially when you're a mother, if you have no kids or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I just feel like it's precious time that you do miss out on.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No, it is, and my dad always used to say it to me, and we were conscious, you know. My dad was always kind of there. My ma, I'm very lucky, she was a stay-at-home mother, so she was there with us, you know what I mean. Now that's a hard thing nowadays with the cost of everything in houses and stuff.
Yes.
There's not many stay-at-home mothers. It's now, people looked down on it years ago, now it's a fucking luxury.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a luxury now, so I think that is important, you know.
Yeah.
It would be important to me. There's probably some people listening to this going, fucking misogynist cunt.
Yeah.
But now, like...
Well, now, like, because, like, sorry, John, speaking over you, like, my little girl, as I said, she's 11, right? And me and her dad split up when she was only young, right?
Yes.
So I was a single mother.
Yeah.
I was a single mother trying to run a house, trying to have, like, control a child, and then trying to run a business. So that's like three things in one.
That's
so
savage.
when people do say to you, like, oh, you stay at home mothers do nothing, they actually do.
Yeah,
like, because they do a lot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and this is the way I used to kind of say, I used to be like, oh Jesus, like, I used to feel if I was at home I'd be worthless because I couldn't provide, I wouldn't be able to bring in. But that's not the case.
No.
You're actually, like, nurturing, like, different feelings, all different things that you can never ever get back at that time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I think a stay-at-home mother is just important as a woman who works full time.
No, 100%. And like, even with I have two boys. Even I look at me boys. One is 19 and one is 13 now. But anytime they're sick, like,
They need their
no,
money.
they don't want me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I get lumped out of the bed and they're bleeding in, fucking getting lemsips, and that's nature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a provider and I bring discipline and other types of stuff and love and all that, but a mother and her kids is a different bond altogether that I kind of understand but will never truly understand, if you know what I mean.
100%. There is a definitely, like, obviously kids can be daddy's boys or daddy's girls or whatever, that's grand, but when, even as let's say me as a mother now and as a woman, if I need anything, the first person I would think of who I'd need is me ma.
Yes.
Do you know that way? Like, I genuinely would need me ma. And when you think of, like, the male and female, and you're like a man, I'm a woman, and people do think, oh, you know, men provide all the time. It's good for a woman to work, but our bodies are changing as well every single month.
Yes.
So we need to be more resting more than any man.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what
100%.
I mean? So like, you have to look at things like this, and I'm only really learning all this in my life now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, I'm still I'd be like, should I be doing something? I feel very guilty.
Yeah.
Like, if I sit on my sofa, I still feel slightly guilty.
Yeah.
For sitting down and relaxing. So I'm still that's still a really hard task for me, which I'm challenging since, like, let's say all this year, because I stopped working Saturdays. So it's something that I'm working on, because I always try to fill the hours in my week. Always. Like, always. But it's not good.
Yeah,
you know,
no.
It's like, you need to rest. You know, it's okay to sit down for an hour. It's okay to be on your sofa from 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be always constantly, like, have 4 hours here or whatever, instead of just being present or being still. Do you know?
Yeah. And I find that difficult. Like, I'm 47 years of age, Robyn. I haven't got it nailed down either. I got a bleeding mad infection there a couple of weeks ago because I was run down, and I was like, what you were saying, just fucking, I was just get this to pay that off and get this, and I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. You know what I mean? So it's a work in progress. If you know what I'm saying.
100%.
It's a work in progress.
It's very similar happened to me.
But it's important to be able to, like what you said, to when you're spiritually well, you can take that time out
Yes.
and not feel guilty.
No.
It's like, why should you feel guilty? I'm out to work on my bollocks off.
As you were saying there, though, you got sick. Like I had a very big lesson this year, with this, and this is how I'm actually really like learning that it's okay. Being so busy, run yourself into the ground. Like I got married on a Saturday. I was in hospital on the Thursday with an infection, got right through me. And I had no choice.
Yes.
So like it was like, that's it. If you don't stop, your body is going to stop.
Oh man,
100%. Do you know what I mean?
No.
So that's where like I'm kind of like, do you know what? You have to. It's really important.
Yeah, it is
really important.
And I remember I heard a quote. This cyclist, he represented Ireland loads of times. But I remember I was at a World Championships. I think it was in Belgium years ago. I was just looking on, and I remember me dad saying, "This young was really good." And I got talking to him anyway, and he was a savage athlete, very young, like competing with seniors and stuff. And me dad says he disappeared. And I got talking to him, just talking to him in general, and he said to me, "I just burnt myself out. Burnt myself out training." And he hit me with this quote, and it was just a throwaway quote, but I always remembered it, and I always try and keep it in my mind when I do fucking think I'm fucking 23 years of age and I'm fucking fucking killing myself, you know what I mean, until I pull back. And it's like, it's an ancient Chinese proverb is, a man can only stand on his toes for so long.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? You need to fucking rest.
Rest,
you need
100%.
It's as important as training.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you follow this fella on Instagram. He runs really good podcasts and gives great health advice. Humour Lab is his name, and he talks about like, training's lethal and all this stuff is lethal. The biggest performance enhancer you will use for business or sport or whatever is sleep.
Yeah.
Just sleep.
Yes.
No supplements.
No.
Not
sleep,
food. Sleep.
Yeah.
You know, rest.
I can have a rest. I could have a sleep for like 10 minutes in the middle of the day if I need it. And if I need that, I'll allow myself to do it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, and as I was just thinking there when you were saying, and what we should all really kind of think of is, we're training all the rest of it and doing all this for this physical body that we can see, right?
Yeah.
But what we can't see is what's working inside.
Yeah.
And we don't, so if we're constantly pushing, this is what I learned when I got sick, right? If we're constantly pushing and putting pressure on our bodies, what has all the organs, imagine the amount of pressure they're under. If you're overworking, let's say your bladder, your liver, your heart, everything else, which it all does need to work in a sense. Well, if you're not giving yourself any rest or any of this downtime, of course you're going to burn out. Of course you're going to burn out. But sleep, is the best. Sleep is the best.
And there's another bloke I listen to as well, and it kind of ties into this, and kind of, when I heard it first, I was like, that's a lot of bollocks. And then I kind of, the more I listen to it, I kind of go, maybe he has a point, you know. His name is Dr. Gabor Mate, and he deals with addiction mostly, but he talks about what you call that thing when people get arthritis. Arthritis and colitis and all these kind of infections. He thinks that they're stress induced, and not like stress in that month or that years of stress and years of not resting, and the body just goes, like with an infection, fuck you. Here you go. This is gonna slow you down.
1,000,000%, because like, if you're stressed or you're in a bad situation or whatever, right, your body is made up of cells and all the rest of it, and you're in a low vibration, right? So they're low vibrating cells, low frequencies, everything is low. It's not functioning right. So what can only happen? Stuff starts going wrong internally, and we don't know about it. And you'll get all these little signals throughout your life, and you'll be like, it's grand. You know the way, like, I'm a prime example. If someone comes to me, my husband or the kids or whatever, I'd be like, you'd be grand. But this is signals that something needs to, they probably need more rest, they need more sleep, whatever. And the same thing happens for us. But because we are constantly in a busy, this is what happens as well over the years, you're busy, you don't allow yourself. So if you have even a slight headache, you don't say, you know what, I'm either going to finish work early today, or maybe take a day off next week because I'm working so hard, or whatever, and just rest. And we don't listen to that.
No.
So then over the years, you're constantly then stressed, your cells, everything, your frequency and all is lower. Your body isn't functioning right. Do you know what I mean? Have we got our daily, like, water intake? Have we got our, you know what I mean? Are we sweating too much out of our body? Have we got all our minerals in our bodies? And then over the years, we're all unaware of, let's say, what all these levels would be, like, let's say, your iron and all the rest of it, and then your body is just crashing.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah. No,
So
no.
it's I think it's an ongoing effect of, like, mental, emotional and physical stress that bring these things on.
No, it is. I'm a huge believer in that now. You know what I mean? And I think that comes, I try and say to me young fella, but it's like my dad trying to say to me back in the day, you're like, you're old, what the fuck?
Yeah, you don't have
you
a
know
clue.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Sap. Shouldn't be sap. But now I kind of, what I do is I suggest it and I try and live it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only way. I try and live it. There's no point in me bleeding.
Do this and do that. Yeah.
Try and live it.
Because at the end of the day, our kids are who they are as well.
Yes.
We can't change who they are.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Like, and we learned, and they're going to teach us these things. But when you just sit back and look and you go, right, I can't actually tell her or tell him or whatever, boy or girl, to live exactly how I'm living, because they see the world different.
Yes.
You know, but what we can do is we can show them the way. And see, do they take up these little things, you know?
No.
And I think that's the best way to do it with kids.
No, 100%. And our kids are going to let us down. They're going to make mistakes. They're going to behave in a way that we're going to go, fucking freak.
Yes.
But, like, we have very short memories.
Oh,
Very short memories. And sometimes I see stuff and I go, fuck's sake. And then me ma goes, you fucking buzzing. You fucking buzzing.
Do you remember what you done when you were 14?
Are you fucking buzzing? So it's tame, you know.
Yeah.
But that's the important bit.
I know. Is it because we have the awareness, maybe? Like, we were wild growing up, but we had the best childhood. Like, wild. We'd be like climbing these walls. Like, even when I had to think back, I'd say we had no phones or whatever. Like, I was probably 12 or 13, and we'd say, "Can we get the bus over to Crumlin?" Like, no phone. And you'd be over in Crumlin and you'd say, just make sure you're home by, and you probably wouldn't even have a watch.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We'd just wing it. When it starts getting dark, maybe we'd get the bus back.
But I don't think that was a bad thing. Like, now a kid has a phone placed into their hand.
Yeah.
You know where they are. WhatsApp me. Text me. And we get on this low vibration of, if you go onto Facebook, there's a kid missing, or there's a white van driving up me road, and you're like, fucking Jesus Christ.
And you don't want to let the kids out.
So back in the day, like, I used to leave my house at 7 in the morning and I come in at 8 or 9 at night. And me ma say, where were you? And it'd be nearly after drowning in a river, or, you know, you just be doing mad stuff. But it's like, if you take now a poor kid, right, doesn't ever have to make a decision. They never have to go, like, they never have to kind of make a mistake because they're like, ring me ma. If shit goes sideways, ring me ma or ring me dad. Whereas back when you were younger, I'm sure, and it's like you get into a situation going, I don't have to fucking talk myself out of this or walk me way out of this.
And
problem solving.
What you use your intuition.
Yes.
And you start to like have trust in yourself, and you use your intuition, and that's what I do always say. People are, and I don't know how I'm going to word this right, but people are, I'm going to say, disabling their kids.
Yes.
Because they're doing so much for them. They're there every answer, like they're there for them, like, do you know what I mean? Every hand's torn, and I think they're actually disabling their kids. They're not letting the child make a choice, right, it's that way right or it's that way wrong. I want to choose myself, you know. They're getting took by the hand. Don't do that, don't do that. And it's not letting the kid use their own intuition. Kids know when they're unsafe.
Yes.
They really know.
Yeah,
they
they
know.
do.
Well, most kids do, I believe. But I think from a very young age, parents are putting them in bubble wrap so the child doesn't know how to make any decisions. Do you know what I mean? And they're afraid of everything. You know, it's no harm, I don't think. Like, my little one is in a school around the corner and I work here. She's 11 now. Our pal just lives like close there, so she'd walk with her and then come around to me and work. Now, even some days if I'm free, I'd say, do you know what, I'll let her walk, because it's it's giving her this sense of responsibility. Do you know what I mean? That she has to walk. She's in 6th class now, so she's well able. She has to walk around to me, giving her confidence in herself for this life. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's very important. And then another thing is like, my ma was married twice, you know what I mean? So she got married a second time, and there wasn't a whole lot of money. Yeah, we had a house and we had everything we needed, but there was no like pocket money.
No.
So I brought what she taught me into my son's life. It's like, it's like, oh yeah, you have a few bob, yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
You're working.
Yeah.
So like my eldest son has been working since he's 14.
Yeah.
His pocket money. That is so fucking important because I don't know about you. I still remember the first ever pay packet I got. I used to do a paper round, and then I used to work up in Crazy Prices in Kilbarrack sweeping the floor.
Yeah.
I still remember getting that little brown envelope, and you could feel the notes in it with the few coins in it. The cunts would take our tea money out of it. You know what I mean? Our tea money. It's like, I don't drink tea. You do drink tea, cunts. But do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I still remember that, and now we're robbing our kids of that ability to be able to do something and earn a few bob from it.
100%.
You know.
My first job was, I was probably 13 or 14 as well, in a pub at the corner of the flats, and anytime there was match days I had to collect the glasses, and I also cleaned the brass. No, the brass.
Yeah.
Brass. That was it.
Brasso, yeah.
That the men would put their bleeding feet on, and I done that for £25.
Yeah.
And I didn't care because I was like, this is money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like that, growing up, my ma hadn't got it, my dad hadn't got it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We only got stuff, clothes at Christmas, Easter, and would you even get some for your birthday? Like, do you know what I mean? We wouldn't get things like, if I was growing out my bike in June, I'd have to wait till Christmas to get a new one.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of way? And even if it was second hand, I'd still have to wait till Christmas. We weren't handed things like this.
Yeah.
Do you know, you weren't handed things like...
And when you speak to your parents, like, I used to think my parents were allowed it. I just presumed they were allowed it. You know what I mean? We live in a nice gaff. You know, you don't really fucking focus on the details as a kid. But, like, I remember when you actually talk to your parents, I remember me ma going, well, from Tuesday to Thursday was rough because we were waiting to get paid on the Thursday, so I kind of had to make do. You know, these little struggles that they had, but I just presumed, you know, all my mates that lived around us, like, some of them didn't work, you know, they got pocket money. I never got fucking pocket money. So, but I'm very grateful for that. You know what I mean? I suppose if anything comes out about this podcast, you are robbing your kids of the ability of earning their own few bob if you give them pocket money for nothing. Because number one, they go, say I send a girl into you, I have a daughter, I don't, but I send her into work for you, and she's shy. You're going to tell her she's shy, and she's going to face criticism, because now parents think their kids are amazing at anything they do, and you're going to say to this young one, well, you didn't really do that right, you didn't sweep that right, or I'm sure down in that pub, if you didn't clean that brass thing properly or correct it, you'd be told. So it's like, okay, I have to go back and do that proper.
And that criticism doesn't do you any harm. It actually only makes you a better person. Like, and the same with me, we had nothing, and I think that's even why, like, I think, like, as I was saying with the business and all the rest of it, like, you have no choice, you have to work. Do you know what I mean? We have no choice, we have to work. And having nothing and not being given everything gives us that drive. Gives me that drive. Like, my ma would never let you, especially when you're younger, if you weren't in college or you weren't working, she'd be like, you're doing something. I don't care what it is, but you have to do something. Do you know? So from the time we were younger, we were working, and then I think I got my first, it was a summer full-time job in the Spar, and I was 16 maybe. And like that, the Spar was only getting done up and I was getting built, and my ma said to me, you better try to get a summer job wherever, you know, all the rest. And I'm like, oh, here, do you know what, I'll ask him for a job instead of listening to her. And walk by, the Spar was still a building site, and I went in, I was in my school uniform, after getting off the bus, and I said, any jobs? And the fella said to me, where are you from? And I said, the flats across the road. And he said to me, do you know what? He said, I'll take it on, because he wanted obviously people from around the area. So summer came, and I was working from 7 in the morning till 4 in the deli full time.
Savage.
While I was in school, like on my summer holidays. And we had no choice. Do you know? And I think that's what makes you then, when you, because we weren't given everything, because she couldn't give it neither. And I still think, even if, like, let's say I'd be obviously in a better position than my mum was years ago. Do you know, things were harder back then. But I still don't give my daughter absolutely everything she asks for, because I'm not teaching her anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes, like, she, let's say it was her birthday, she'd hold her little few bob wherever, so I'd say to her, why don't you not hold it a savings, you know, all the rest of it. And if she wants things that she doesn't really genuinely need, I'd either kind of hold her back, tell her no, or else take your tenner or your 15 or your savings. Do you know, like, little small little things like that I'd ask of her.
They're called life skills.
Life skills.
Do you know what I mean? It's really important, you know. That's really important. So, Robyn, that was a great conversation.
Thanks so much, John.
No worries. Really enjoyed that. And I am Robyn Browning. Robyn Browning Salon. Is it? What's the Instagram
Robyn
page?
Browning Brows.
Robyn Browning.
Couldn't have it any other name. It's in the surname.
There you go.
Browning.
So I enjoyed that conversation. The last time I wanted to get you on for a while. I was supposed to have another girl on yesterday. She's an artist, but I've put her off till next week because she lost her voice.
Oh, right.
Yeah, she lost her voice. I was shouting and wrong on the gigs. So she lost her voice. So it's I'm going to get a few girls on the next while because I had a load of girls on for a while, and then I kind of went getting MMA lads, and now I'm going to get that feminine energy. That feminine energy going again, you know.
Because it's all the same people on these podcasts around Dublin. We need to be more versatile and give everyone a voice, all different people's lifestyles or whatever they do, a little voice, because we all matter.
No,
do you know 100%. What I mean? So I think like it's funny how, this is not being negative, but it's funny how kind of Dublin is. If someone does a really good podcast based on their following or based on a kind of sad story about their life, everyone wants them on the show, you know, and which is good, that's grand, but we need to be more versatile and give everyone else a little bit of a voice, you know, just to hear different kind of sides of everyone's stories and
that's I kind of, when you're starting off, I'm learning still with this podcast. I'm 90 something episodes in, and I'm learning, and that for me, what you just said is really important there, because everyone does have a voice, and I think like some of the best people I've ever interviewed on this podcast had no social media. None. You know, so you're right. It's and I look at other podcasts, and fair play to them, they're doing great stuff. But it's like, it's not what I want. I don't want the famous cunt in here, and you can't say X and you can't say Y because you're worried about getting cancelled, and I just don't want that. You know what I mean? I want an informal conversation, and like, we mightn't agree on everything, but a conversation is a great way to find out about each other and to learn about each other and going forward, and take what you like and leave the rest and wish them well.
And you know even when we don't agree on things, we're learning stuff about ourselves as well as the other person, so it's always good. You know, always good. So thank you very much.
Hashtag triggered.
Can't believe she said that.
Hashtag how dare you.
The mute button.
Stop gas. But anyway, Robyn, thanks a million, and I'll get you to press that red button.
Much, Sean.
No worries.